And good. All right. So, what's up, D?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Can't complain. How you holding up during the Corona here?
I'm good. Obviously staying inside, doing everything that they're telling us to do. New York is kind of different from the rest of the country. There's
Yeah.
people dropping like flies out here at a higher rate than most places, but it's really ghost town around here. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying this time off, honestly. Basketball is grueling, man.
Yeah.
So being a full time dad with no basketball is actually kind of fun. So I'm
Yeah.
liking it.
I can imagine. That's yeah, man. I can't wait till the day that I become a dad. But like, it must be really nice. Your body's. I know you're like I've told people your resume and so obviously you're a 4-year starter at Fairfield U, 7-year pro and a bunch of played in a bunch of Euro Cups and played in the World Championships for not Montenegro. So I mean your body must be a little sore.
Yeah, it's this year was different because I left for Europe in July for the World Cup to start training camp. So I was gone midway through the summertime, which I'd never been before. So this season was a little longer, a lot more miles on the body, if you want to say it. So when we got the break, it was kind of bittersweet because I was hitting a good stride. Last game I had 12 and 11, so I was really feeling good. But I'll take the break because I know I'm back stronger, faster, and more healthier.
For next season. Yeah, no, I feel like that's a lot. That's just the underlying message here. It's like it's kind of put a halt on everybody's
Yeah.
schedule and kind of like put things in perspective and you're able to do things that you wouldn't normally have time to do. So I think, yeah, this whole thing is really bad, but I think at the same time, it's really nice to be able to, get in touch with your yourself and the things that you want to do in this time off. So
No, for sure. You just gotta being super competitive. You just gotta find something else to channel that energy towards. Because before it was going to dominate workouts and trying to dominate basketball games each and every single day, and now it's like dominating folding the bed sheets or doing the laundry, doing the dishes, playing with my son, like full time, like focus on them, the best I can for them is basically what I'm doing now. Because obviously the kids have no clue what's going on, so just to stay focused and keep that competitive edge up, I just channel it in a different direction.
no, for sure. That's the best way to do it. Best way to look at it. So I just, I want to ask you a couple questions, just like tell your story, how, from the basketball side, and, challenges, your memories, the way you fell in love with the game, just go into that. So, I know our the viewers and listeners definitely, interested in learning about you and, so go ahead.
Um, if y'all don't know, I'm Derek Needham. I'm from Dalton, Illinois, like right outside Chicago, 5 minutes outside Chicago. Um, love sports. I didn't start early, like everyone like 3 years old, 6 years old. I started at first grade, so I was like at the end of 7, because my birthday's in October, so I start early school years. But I started with baseball. I didn't start with basketball. Baseball is my natural sport. It comes super easy. It was for me. It wasn't hard at all, and the older I got, it still was not hard. Basketball was the biggest challenge because I was not the tallest and not the most skilled, so that really drove me to like become better at stuff I wanted to do. And basketball was like my vehicle for it. So the love came from just not wanting to be bad, not wanting to suck, because I was so used to being good because I played baseball. I was so used to being the best player or being one of the best players, being the fastest guys. When you translate to basketball, that's a sport of height and that's a sport of skill. More than baseball is more hand-eye coordination. Basketball is all around height, skill, length, timing, everything. And my timing was there, but my height and everything else was not there. So I didn't want to be bad at anything. That made me basically fall in love for the game. It made me study the game more. As I got older, I kind of figured out what I was good at in basketball, like leading into 8th grade, kind of figured out, okay, you still have speed and everything, so you might be able to be really good at this. Because at that age, kids are not doing too much of what the kids today are doing. Like we didn't have the trainers, or we didn't have the whole systems and YouTube video programs. That stuff hadn't existed yet. You had to go to the court and you either play with the kids your age, which if you weren't advanced enough, you couldn't get on the court, or you had to go with your bigger brothers and try to get on the court with them and absolutely get destroyed. And that's how you learn. I mean, you learn to actually go on to play basketball. People weren't in the gym working out like that when we were young. It was more, you go play at the park, you go play at your rec center, and you figure out how you want to be, what moves you want to do from watching other guys. So that's basically how I became more advanced as playing with my older brother, who was 3 years older than me. He used to just take me with him everywhere because I was fast, so he thought I could play at the next level. But them big kids, man, they'll knock you around and they'll let you know you're not quite there yet. So once I figured out that I could get around them and not through them, it's when I really started taking off, and that was around my 8th grade year. And ever since then, I just basically started working at the game. And you hit high school, and you understand, like, at this level in high school, you have maybe, back when we were playing, maybe a year and a half to actually find yourself and figure out what you really want to do with basketball. Like, do I want to take this to college, or do I want to play something else? Nowadays, you don't have that because they're recruiting kids at 4th grade. It's different. But back then, you could kind of figure it out. Because back then, people were playing 2 or 3 sports. Like, people were playing baseball, football, wrestling, and still playing basketball at the same time. So you weren't really locked into one sport like that. So I would say around my sophomore years, when I was like, all right, let's lock in full-time basketball. Let's try to be really good at this thing, because I was close to developing more of a left hand, but not a jump shot. I still didn't have a jump shot. For some reason, I was athletic, fast. I figured that could take me, I don't know where. Well, my mama told me, you ain't growing no more, so you better get a jump shot. So around that sophomore level was that summer going to junior year, all right, you need to start figuring out how to score from farther range. And that's when I really started locking into only basketball. And that's when you start varsity, weight room. Before then, I wasn't in a weight room. You wasn't doing that crazy stuff. So that's when I really started to get to weight room and stuff like that. But moving on from there, from my junior year, we had 2 national guys on our team. I don't think there's Mike Shaw and DeAndre Henry. They were younger, but they were like top national recruits in the nation. So I became more of a playmaker, less than a scorer. But I really knew that could get me somewhere, because point guards then were not point guards now, where we're jacking up a lot of shots. We're bringing the ball up and shooting. It was more get your team in the offense, get your team in the rhythm. You can win the game scoring 2 points. A lot of my coaches told me if your point guard is scoring the majority of the points, chances are you're not winning. Back then, that was true. Now, these guys are so nice that they can be 30 and give you 10 assists at the same time, which is crazy to me. But senior year, I really took off for high school, and I signed my junior summer. I signed with Fairfield. My senior year in high school, I was really good. But because I wasn't really good my junior year, I'm like, let me lock into a college before my senior year, before I have to scramble. So I locked into Fairfield. Assistant coach there was Bob Simon. He recruited me heavily. Like, he was at all the AAU games. And it was actually luck, kind of, because our national players, they skipped one tournament, so they took the bench guys, and I was on the bench at that time, and we actually won the tournament. So now everybody looking like, yo, who are these guys that's winning this tournament with this team, and all the starters are gone? So that's really how Coach Simon really found me and really saw me, and actually that gave me a chance to shine, to get a college scholarship like that. But I locked in after that, and my senior year, I was really good. Everything started clicking for me, man. speed, athleticism, left hand, IQ, a little bit more IQ, jump shots started falling. Now I was in business. Harvard called my house. They wanted me to come play. Washington State called me. Derrick Rose was at Memphis. His brother wanted me to come there and play after Derrick Rose. Who else? But I was already locked in. So I'm like, that's fine. And my head coach told me, like, he was going to give me actually an opportunity to start. So once he told me that, I'm like, I really play somewhere where I know I'm actually playing time than sit on the bench and the coach tell me you have to redshirt, and then I'm actually wasting years in college. So that's how we got here. That's how we got to Fairfield. Funny story, before I got to Fairfield, that summer before I was leaving, I finally met who's the coach now, Ed Cooley. I never met him before then. It's only Bob Simon and Cooley. So Coach Cooley didn't know who I was until I signed. He just trusted Coach Simon because they were best friends. So he came to visit me. He's like, Coach Simon told me all about you. I seen film. He's like, our starting guard is leaving, and that spot's open. He's like, I'll give you the keys to the team, but you got to work hard. You got to show me that you actually deserve it. So when a coach tell you that, that's even more motivation pushing you to do what you love doing anyways. So once I saw I could actually start as a freshman, it was crazy to me because I know a lot of my high school teammates from like around the country and stuff, they were going to these high Division I colleges, but they were redshirting because they had sophomores and juniors who were nationally recruited before them ready to step into that spot when the senior left. So they just had to take that back seat. So I realized that I was in a great position. Moving on to Fairfield, freshman year was it was a blur. Honestly, it was a blur. It was crazy because that summer, Bob Simon, assistant coach, we were like best friends basically. He would always call me, yo, get up 7 a.m., get to the gym. So every morning since the summertime, since I got to Fairfield, 7 a.m., I was in the gym, big ball, form shooting, 500 shots, shooting gun, dribble moves, off the pick and roll. Like, he had me in the gym like crazy. Like, and this is the first time I saw real work. Like, what I thought I was doing before was not real work. Like, when he put me in that gym at 7 a.m., when you got an 8:30 class, like, you got to get in, you got to get focused, you got to get right to your business. That's when I really started seeing, like, all right, this thing is bigger than what I thought it was. Basketball is a lot more work than you thought it was. But I loved it, though. I knew I was starting to get better, and I could see it in practices. Like, I started making shots that I was working on that I would be scared to take in high school. But now that I know I'm putting in way more work, it all started clicking for me. So my freshman year, I was an All-American with freshman All-American with John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, like crazy names when they were at Kentucky doing their thing. We had a great year. We actually started turning Fairfield around. We started winning a bunch of games. And then that's when you start seeing like the business side of basketball as well, because I developed a really close bond with Ed Cooley during my freshman year. And my sophomore year, Boston College called him. If y'all don't know, Ed Cooley was assistant coach at Boston College before he came to Fairfield and was the head coach there. Boston College called him. They wanted him to become the head coach. And I'm thinking, man, we just started rolling. We just lost in the MAC championship to Siena, who was like winning 3 years in a row. We actually blew the game in overtime. We should have never got there, but we started rolling, and Coach Cooley told me he might leave. So once I figured that out, I understood this is more than just basketball as well for everyone. This is also a business. So it kind of gave you that perspective early in my career that it is a lot of hard work and dedication, but it's also a business side to this game as well. He wound up not leaving. They didn't offer him enough money. Who knows what the numbers was? But rolling the sophomore year is when I really got into being the guy, which is totally different from being a guy. It's a shell shock. I knew because my freshman year, no one heard about me, so I got a lot of shots. I had a lot of easy buckets. We had a big dominant center in Anthony Johnson. We had a stretch four who didn't miss in Mike Ivanovic. So I was getting a lot of open, easy shots that I was working on at 7 a.m. It was target practice. Going into my sophomore year, those guys graduated. And Coach Cooley called me to his office. He told me, he said, "You're the guy now. You need to learn how to manage the team and also manage double teams. So it's easy to bring the ball down the court and, set up the offense and everything, and then sneak and get your points. But now all eyes are on you, so there's no more sneaking." So it didn't hit me because, I was still doing my work and everything early in the season, scoring points, everything was fine. I'm like, man, this is kind of the same. It didn't dawn on me till December. We were supposed to play Florida, Billy Donovan's team. The game got canceled because we got stuck in Connecticut because of a snowstorm. So Coach Cooley was really good fans of Billy Donovan. So the game got canceled. They never rescheduled it. I always wondered what would happen that game. But Billy Donovan sent Ed Cooley his scouting report. Coach Cooley calls me in his office. He says, "Remember what I told you at the beginning of the year? I want to show you what I'm talking about because I can tell that you're kind of freelancing out there. You don't believe me." The scouting report was this much of the scouting report was all me. The first, I kid you not, the first 10 to 15 pages of that scouting report had my face on it, and it was every detail, every move, one dribble left, percentage, everything, how to stop him, what he likes to do well. They detailed my game to a T. They wanted me to score 0 points. He's like, this is what I'm talking about. When we start tournament time and stuff like this is what the scouting reports have been. I'm like, you need to figure out different ways to score the basketball. You need to become more clever. You need to keep your team involved. You need to understand and walk on the line between taking your shots and getting yourself involved and also getting the team going. So once he showed me that scouting report, it wasn't terrifying, but it gave you a reality check. Teams are gunning for you. They are trying to make sure that this team loses by cutting the head off the snake, and they are serious about it. So once I saw that, man, I was double time in the gym even more, man. I started working on floaters, man. I started working on side steps, step backs, just to get a little bit more space because I know they're going to put taller defenders on me. They're going to put longer defenders on me because guys my size weren't either strong enough or weren't fast enough. So I knew they were going to come with a whole different level of game plan now. So that made me turn my game up more and become more of an IQ guy instead of all physicality and brute strength. But after that, of course, business stepped in again. We had another great year. Providence for a lot of money, and he's from Rhode Island, so it made sense. I was happy for him. I actually was gonna leave, but the athletic director wasn't gonna let me leave. He already knew I was gonna leave. He wasn't gonna let me leave, and they were gonna tell me I would have to redshirt because I was gonna say it was a family transfer, but they were gonna actually tell me that I couldn't do that. So Cooley wanted to keep that Fairfield team together because remember we just brought in Desmond Wade and Rakeem Sanders from Boston College. So they redshirted my sophomore year, so now they were eligible to play my junior year. And we were loaded. We had probably, I would say that junior team was the best team at Fairfield. That team was 5 professional players on it. Yeah, 5 professional players. We had shooting, we had defense, we had height, we had it all. We had everything we needed. We were rolling too. We were dominant. And the last game, or the second to last game before the MAC tournament, I wound up breaking my foot.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Against Iona. Going up for a layup, I tried to sidestep off a 1-2 step. I tried to 1-2, basically a Euro. I tried to move out my own teammate's way because he was still in the paint, but I was trying to get around him. landed wrong, but my foot twisted and I tried to jump off of it. So I cracked the 5th vertebrae in my left foot. That probably was the worst time because we were so good. But fast forward a little weeks later, not even months, a little weeks later, we wound up losing the MAC tournament to Loyola by 4 points. And I think we scored like 42 points, like 42 to 46. I think we scored. That was the most heartbreaking. I almost rather get blown out, so I knew like, yo, we had no chance. Like it didn't matter if I was on the court or not. But to lose by 4 points and be helpless on the sideline with a broken foot, that's probably one of the most worst times of basketball that I experienced like helplessness. Because yeah, everyone out there fighting, like it was a dogfight, it's a defensive battle, and not being cocky nothing, but I'm scoring more than 4 points.
Yeah, no, completely. I remember the game. It was an offensive struggle, and you definitely, dude. If we had you, we would have been in the NCAA tournament playing Ohio State that year.
Exactly, that kills me to this day. Like I killed it to this day thinking like, man, 4 points. Like we were that close, and that was my second time in the MAC finals and losing by a close margin. My freshman year, we lost in overtime because we turned the ball over twice at the end of the game, up 5 points. And then this time, we lose by 4, and we only score. And like it was a shootout, like 96, 90, 98, or something like that, where you're like, all right, everybody was scoring, they just scored more. It was like, nah, like a couple more points in a struggle game makes a world of a difference, and the game is over. You know what I mean? So after that year, it was different because those were Ed Cooley's guys. That was that team. Princeton was coaching that team, but those were Cooley's guys. So it was more of a bond we built from Cooley leaving than it was actually Coach Johnson took him. That senior year, which coaches do, I don't blame Coach Johnson. Now looking at it then, I'm like, man, what's he doing? Looking at it now, like, I understand you come here, you want to bring your guys in. So my senior year, he made a bunch of changes. A couple players that Cooley recruited left, not even just the seniors, but like juniors and redshirt seniors left. And it was a totally different team. And then we also started putting in the Princeton offense. So we were learning even more about Coach Johnson my senior year. And then we knew about him my junior year, because my junior year we were more talented than anything. Like we didn't need an offense. Like we could dominate the game by just playing basketball because we were all together anyway. But senior year was good. It wasn't as good as junior year. We weren't as talented, but we fought. We worked hard. We turned the corner mid-season, and we were dangerous in the MAC tournament. We fell short, but people didn't even think we were going to win that first game. People thought we were going to get bounced out the first round. But it was good. Graduated Fairfield. Had a great time. Became a professional that summer, 2013. Went to Lithuania, and not a culture shock, but it's totally different basketball in Europe than it is in America. And I didn't understand that, but I had an idea because Rakim was in Israel my senior year at Fairfield, so I picked his brain a bunch because I knew I was going to Europe after my senior year. So I adjusted well. I won a championship. Was a floor general, was scoring when I needed to. I kind of figured Europe out in that sense, where I knew where I needed to be aggressive. I knew I needed to pass the ball, because point guards in Europe are not the same as point guards in America, college, NBA. Now, high school, where guys are scoring 30 points a game. In Europe, if you can give them 10 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, you're a solid point guard. there are elite guys right now in Europe who can give you 20 a night. Mike James, Shane Larkin, Lexi Shred, guards like that can give you 20 a night. Those are elite, like next level with crazy things around. But for the most part, if you're a point guard in Europe, you need to be more of a playmaker, more of a traditional, not traditional, but more of a floor general, I would say, than you need to be a scorer. You need to have the ability to score, but you don't need to lead your team in scoring necessarily. It's okay to be around 10 to 12, 10 to 15, but your assists need to be between 5 and something, you know what I mean? So I figured that out my rookie season. I played well. Got a good job in Ukraine the next year. Was not the go-to guy, but became the go-to guy. Like I said, you need to be able to score when it was. So we were a major team. Got to the finals because I wasn't scoring that much during the season. People thought they cannot play me. Wound up being Finals MVP, averaging 25. Was great. Moved to Germany, Italy, everywhere. France, Montenegro. I've been a lot of places over this last 7 years, and it's been like a combination of experience from Europe and those work ethic days from Bob Simon at Fairfield, who really got to me where I am now. Like I have a good name in Europe, I would say. I have a good name where teams know who I am, and they understand that I understand basketball. So that's kind of my journey from being little and understanding working and getting to where I am now, 7 years in.
Sorry. Yeah, so I kind of want to pick your mind. Like, I know the one thing I do want to ask, the World Championships, like that was, I unfortunately left right before because I was in China because I was training there, and I left right like literally like 2 weeks before they started in, what was it, late August?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I missed you. I missed Amadou, who's another former teammate. He was playing for the Ivory Coast. But like, what was that experience like playing against, top players of each country, a couple of the countries you went against?
That's probably the highlight, not the highlight, but like that's gonna be one of my top 5 highlights in my career for sure. Playing in the World Cup was crazy, man. So if y'all don't know, Montenegro is the smallest country to ever make it to a World Cup. There's only 600,000 people in the country.
Jeez.
So our talent pool is shorter than anybody's talent pool. So people pulling from millions and 10 million to 100 million. We're pulling from 600,000. So to make it to the World Cup was history, of course. We were the first time we ever made it to the World Cup. Montenegro, that country. But we had, if you guys don't know, Orlando Magic center, Nikola Vucevic is our star player. He's from Montenegro. So before we got to the World Cup, I've been on the team already for 4 years, for the national team 4 years. So I've hung out, played against, practiced, worked out with Vucevic for 4 years. So I kind of understood big men NBA players. So I understood those. But the guards that I played against, ridiculous. So I played against Nick Calathis, who was at Florida, who played for the Memphis Grizzlies, who eventually became like one of the greatest point guards in EuroLeague history, and he still is right now. He's still playing. Like he dominates. He's like a passing wizard. On his team, this is Team Greece. Giannis Antetokounmpo, his brother, a bunch of NBA players, man. That probably was the most eye-opening because me and Vucevic, we worked out twice a day in the weight room. He got me like, I was his roommate for the national team. So when he went to go to the gym, I went to the gym because I wanted to understand that NBA scheduling grind. So we were in the gym. So when we get there, Giannis is in there with his brother and his personal trainer. When I tell you this dude is 7 feet tall, he's all of 7 feet, all arms and all legs, man. We walk in there, I'm looking like, no, 6'10", no, 7 feet natural, like. And he's in there and he's working hard. Like this dude, for what he has, MVPs and everything, he earned all of that. Like for him to be at that World Cup, and this dude was working like as if he's in the middle of NBA season, man. Like, he was grinding. I respect that too. But to see him up close in person was crazy. But you also understood, like, yo, he's also a hooper just like you're a hooper. So when we played them like a couple of days later, it was different because European basketball, you can sit in the paint.
Right.
And there's no 3 seconds. So with his game, we understood like if he don't get a fast break dunk, it's gonna be hard for him to score us. So that was basically everyone's game plan. But we packed the paint a lot. We played against him. I think he scored like 10 points, maybe like 1 dunk, like nothing crazy. But we played against Brazil. They had Huerta, who used to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, the point guard. Barbosa played. Anderson Varejao played. Those guys, like, and to play in the World Cup, you get to see every country has their own style of basketball, which is amazing. Like Greece was physical, pound the ball, like try to dominate you physically. Brazil was like running, almost like running gun. Like they get out the game, they're gone, they push the ball. Leandro Barbosa's flying down the court, and he still got it. So it basically just shows you like there's a next level. There's always a next level, man. So whenever you think that, all right, I'm dominating this level, I'm good. No, you're not. There's another level, and at that level, there's people just like you. They're just like you. And the only thing that's gonna separate you is your basketball IQ, and that's what I had to figure out after I played Greece. I'm like, all right, Nick Colaitis taller than me, I'm faster, I'm stronger, cool. But yeah, you're fast and stronger. But you get to the basket, Giannis is waiting for you. Another 7 foot is waiting for you. Like it's different. Like you're not just getting to the basket and trying to lay the ball up. It's not happening. You got to be a lot smarter. So I understood that after the first game. I understood there was another level of IQ that I needed to reach. A new high. I thought I had it. I made it to the World Cup. I got it now. No, there's another level. There's the NBA level IQ now. There's a coaching level IQ. There's more. So I got that even more playing against Brazil, Netherlands. We played against Japan, Turkey. Seti Osman from the Cleveland Cavaliers played against him. Folkman, who was on the Philadelphia 76ers, the shooter, played against him. A lot of NBA guys came to the World Cup, of course, because that's the biggest stage besides the Olympics is the World Cup for international.
Yeah.
So you just learn that guys are bigger, faster, stronger, or just as big as, just as fast, and just as strong as you are. And if you don't have the IQ, that's going to be what's going to separate you from them. That's going to be the difference between a layup or a block shot, or you getting by your man, or a turnover. That's the difference. So the World Cup was an amazing experience, and it just shows you there is another level out there, and there are people at that level.
Yeah, man. It's crazy to think that you got to always keep working in terms of just like you never stop learning. You always hear that, but like when you experience it and you're like, yo, wow, there's still a lot more to learn.
Yeah, it's different because when you see it on TV, it's like, all right, yo, because they're going against kind of the same competition. When you go to it, you do an in and out crossover and you're full speed and a guy cuts you off chest to chest. You're like, whoa, how you get there? Like this move usually works.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So once you experience, you understand, like, all right, he's studied, he's understood this move before, he's seen 1,000 people do this move before. And that's one thing about basketball. that I grown to appreciate that I didn't appreciate early, not early in my career actually, yeah. I would say early in my whole career, basketball is the same. It's the people who play it. That's the difference. Like, there's no different crossover. We can't invent a new crossover. We cannot invent a new jump shot. There's only a certain amount of screens you can actually set: on ball, away screen, cross screen, down screen, flare screen. You cannot invent a new screen. And there's only a certain type of cuts and routes you can run in basketball. But it's the people who use those cuts and routes and how they use them is what makes the game different and makes it look crazy on each level. Like the same thing that the UConn women's basketball team are doing is the same thing that the Lakers were doing with Kobe, or the same thing that Jordan and Kobe were doing on the Lakers and the Bulls. It's the same offense, different players. Like it's crazy to see it, but you can't invent anything new in basketball. You just got to understand how to use what you have, and that's the beauty of the game, because everyone can do the same move. It's just your ability to do it and knowing when to do it.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's the thing too. Like me as a trainer, I'm trying to study the game. I'm going to ask you that later because I kind of want to see if you've got a highlight film or something that I can get some film. That way I can break it down and put it on YouTube and things like that. But I don't want to, take too much more time. I do have a couple other questions. Like, okay. So who was the toughest player you played against?
The toughest player I've played against, like at my position?
Yeah, let's do that. So the toughest player you actually played against as a team, and then for your position.
Okay, the toughest player I've played against would be, surprisingly, it's not Giannis. He was not the toughest player I played against. The person who I had no answer for, but I felt like our team had no answer for, was Anderson Varejao. Crazy, man. This dude is he's not the fastest. He's not the tallest. He doesn't shoot the best. He's not the strongest. When I tell you he's always in the right position, it's unbelievable. I'm talking about offense and defense. Like, this dude was never the focal point of the Brazil offense, and he would kill every single game because he was always in the right position. And that to me is, off the top of my head, that's what like dropped my jaw. We lost to them because every time we came back or took the lead, Anderson Varejao scored or got a rebound or got a steal. Every time he had his hands on the basketball. And if you've seen him out there, you'd be like, yo, there's Vucevic out there, and this dude's flying around the court, and this dude is in cruise control, but he always is in the right spot. And that's amazing to me. But at my position, the person that I was like, oof, that gave me a tough go that I thought was real was my rookie year, Justin Dentman. He played in the NBA for a couple of years. He played, I think, on the Mavericks. He went to Washington State in college. He played in Europe. I don't know if he's still playing. He played in China as well, but he gave me a real eye opener. Like, man, this is real. Like, side steps, dunks, and he's only 6 feet tall.
Jeez.
Yeah. He and like, I pride myself on defense. So when he was cooking me, I'm like, man, what is going on? Like, I'm missing every strip by an inch. Like, just missing the ball. And I'm missing everything. I'm like, yo, it's like this dude is like controlling me. Like, yo, I'm over here. Now you can reach. I'm shooting already. Like, it was crazy. Like, he was one of the toughest guys I've probably played against. And I still talk to him to this day. That butt whooping he gave me was kind of the bond that got me there. Like, yo, I need to know. And the most clever point guard I ever played against, though, is Marcellus Huerta. I played against him multiple times now. Huh?
Is he back in Europe?
Yeah, he's in Spain.
Okay.
And in Gran Canaria, in the island, Tenerife. I played against him in Brazil. I mean, not in Brazil, but at the World Cup, I played against him. And I also played against him this year twice. And when I tell you, this dude is skinny, not fast, a genius though, man, a genius. He can give you 20 points and 20 assists. He's a genius. He's one of the guys. Actually, I'm still waiting film from him. Like first time ever in my career after we lost to them, I think, yo, I need to know how to shoot that one leg floater through the lane. It is amazing. It throws everyone off balance. If y'all don't know, when y'all watch this, Google Marcelo Huerta. Believe me, when you see this one leg floater off the backboard, off the pass, it's literally an unstoppable move. It's one of the most unstoppable moves I've ever seen in basketball. And he's perfected it because the technique of it is where the guard cannot get back after the ball screen and the big man cannot step up or it's going to be a dunk. Like it's that gray area where a lot of players would rush to the rim and get their shot blocked, or they would pull up and shoot and get blocked from behind from the guard. It's that gray area where he's learned the time and how to slow down and speed up and still put touch on the shot. It's amazing. Once I get the film, I'll send it to you too, Steve.
Yeah, definitely. Because I want to study more. I think I want to study more European players just because I feel like the European game is more translatable to kids earlier in their career. Like it's great to watch NBA guys and like do all these, but you're not going to be able to do all those dribble moves. You're not going to be able to do all that stuff. So there's got to be a balance. You got to have that bag, the NBA bag, but you got to, like you said, when you were working out, it's got to apply to 5-on-5. It can't just be skill. It's got to be translatable to the game. So that's where me as a trainer, I'm trying to educate and find a balance and teaching. But it's great to have somebody like you kind of like throw that out there. Like it's a very simple game, but it's very complex at the same time.
Man, they say basketball is the easiest game to play, but the hardest game to master. And I agree. Everybody can play it, but to perfect basketball is the hardest thing to do because you always have an active guy trying to take the ball from you. It's the hardest. It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to master. Like it's crazy, but yeah, European basketball for sure is beautiful. To me, it's beautiful. I watch more European basketball than I do NBA. For one, because I'm in European time zone, but for two, for me, it's more translatable to how I always been. It's I never been over dribble guy. I never been crossover behind the back, step back between the legs type guy because I always wanted to get to where I needed to get to and score. Like I want to waste as less energy as possible and get to my spots and get my bucket or get my teammates a bucket. Because the more efficient you are, the more coaches love it, the more coaches want you because if you're efficient, you can fit in any system. So if I'm dribbling a lot and the offense is surrounded by me, that's hard for me to go to another team and be like, all right, it's my team now too. Let me start dribbling over here. But if I'm efficient, I could be efficient, 2 dribbles pull up or 2 dribbles step back, hesitation, pass. And I can translate that from one team to the next team because I'm taking only 3 seconds of the shot clock up. You know what I mean? Like I'm not dribbling the ball. Everyone's touching it. Everyone feels good. So European basketball is exactly that because the lane is not as open as in the NBA. NBA is more of a one-on-one game because if you rotate, someone's open because you can't just stand there. So you have to be in motion. And in Europe, they can sit a 7-footer in the middle of the paint and be like, yo, come to me. I'm not moving for the whole 24 seconds. Come to me. You know what I mean? So it's harder to score in Europe. If you ask any professional, NBA, overseas, anybody, they'll tell you it's harder to score in Europe than it is the NBA. And that's why the European game is so beautiful because it's so efficient in ways you can score, in ways you can get your teammates the ball, in ways you can get open.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's why I think when I want to do film breakdown, I'm doing college highlights because I think now you got kids going to the G League now, so they got to get rid of that 1 year rule soon.
Yeah, all the top guys are not going to go to college. All the top 5 guys are going to start leaving. right out of high school.
Yeah, I agree, and they got to get. I think that for the NCAA, they're still going to do well, but they got to get rid of that 1 year rule because I really think if those top guys can play in the league and they can go prepare in the G League, I think the G League. I mean, I trained another Fairfield player. His name's John, and like watching the G League, it's amazing. It's no joke. The G League's not a joke anymore. Like a lot of those guys, there's like three guys on each team that can go up and down. And like with John, he was on the Long Island Nets. They literally had like 5 guys that would move back and forth from Brooklyn to the G League team, and it's just crazy. But yeah, that leads into another question. Would you consider G League as an option if you had a chance?
No, probably not. Not at this stage in my career. It's the best time actually for rookies and stuff to go to the G League because they're trying to make it where they don't want Americans to leave to go to Europe. They want to keep them homegrown, which is fine. But at this stage in my career, I'm so rooted in Europe with my name and how I play, and people know me throughout Europe. So it wouldn't make sense to go to the G League and kind of reset, kind of restart over. You know what I mean? So I probably would not do G League at this stage in my career. But I would say if you are a top prospect in college or not in college or in high school, with this new system that they put in place, I just seen the young boy Jalen. I don't remember his last name.
Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green. I don't even watch high school players. I've been watching it for like 2 years. This kid is crazy.
He's in my opinion, he can be the next big thing, but depends on his development and stuff.
This dude is, when you talk about height, speed, athleticism, finesse, come on. This dude got it. But like what he's doing, when they start pulling those prospects in, you got to be careful because I'm always speaking from an underdog way because I never was a top prospect or nothing like that. So when they're doing that, cool. This is going to open up more opportunities for people like I was and people like me. You going into college, like you're going to get more opportunities now because the big dogs are moving to something else. So you can maybe get your feet in to college. But if you're already in college and you want to test the NBA, you want to go to the G League, be careful because remember the goal of the G League is to develop you to go to the NBA. So guys are gunning for numbers. It's not necessarily about building a team or building championships. If it happens along the way, of course, but it's more to get that call up. So you have to be very careful about getting into that, what I want to call quicksand. Because if you get in there and you're like, I'm on a G League, I'm one step from the NBA, you can get caught and be in there for a while. And the one thing about Europe, if you don't get your name in the door early, coaches want guys who've been around longer than they want new people because they know character already of this guy. Because in Europe, coaches are best friends, no matter what country. How's this guy? How's his attitude? How is he off the court? Does he drink? Does he party? Does he get in trouble? What does he do? They call each other. They want experienced guys. They don't have time to. A lot of teams, all the high-level teams, they don't want to deal with trying to get you adjusted to Europe. They want you already adjusted to Europe. They don't have time to babysit because in Europe it's about winning championships. They don't care about your individual moments. They're trying to play for the organization and for the country. It's not about that team. It's about winning for the country, winning for that city. Like it's different. And in the G League, I would just say, just watch out. Just if you dip your foot in that pond, get in there, test the water, see what your agent's talking about. If somebody try to check for me in the NBA, no, I get out because you can get stuck there. And I've seen people get stuck there.
Yeah, no, that's I mean, these are the gems that I really like. I'm so happy I got this interview. It's like you're experienced it. I know a bunch of kids that I train. A lot of them have that aspiration one day, and just to have somebody there seeing it and explaining it. Like I'm not trying to. I don't shoot kids' dreams down. If they want to go to the NBA, it's possible, but you got to work. It starts now because kids, like you see Jalen Green, he's probably been grooming since he's like 5 years old.
I've been watching Jalen Green. I think he was 18 now. I think I watched him when he was on the USA team, U16. So like there's tape of kids now, like from when they come out the womb, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but I don't want to kill kids' dreams. It's not killing your dreams, but we had the same dream. When you're young, you think NBA. Like I didn't know about European basketball until I was a junior in college. I didn't even know this world existed. I didn't know until Rakim left and went to Israel. I'm like, wait, they play basketball over there? Wait a second. No one ever told me about European basketball. Like this world was covered. Like, it was covered. I didn't know. Like I'm watching highlights now from 2012 to 2013. I'm thinking, I was in college with people over here winning championships and celebrating. Like I didn't even know this world existed. So I don't want to kill kids' dreams, but I want to let them know that the NBA is not just talent. Like I know you see LeBron and them dunking in basketball and everything, but those are like the 1%ers. These other guys, and like it's hard to stay 5 years in the NBA, let alone 1 year. Like these guys are in the NBA. Yeah, some people pull strings, and don't get me wrong, they're talented as ever. But there's a lot of talented guys out there who are better than some guys in the NBA who are not there, and for whatever reason it is. But it's not just talent. NBA is no longer when Michael Jordan was playing. It's no longer just trying to win in low salaries. The NBA now is entertainment. That's the reason they changed the rules. That's why there's no more hand checking. They want people to score 100 plus points. They want you to eat popcorn, drink beer, sit down, and enjoy an event. It's not just basketball. It's so much more.
Business.
Like I know agents and coaches who now work in the NBA who literally called over to Europe like, do you have a 7-footer to sit on the bench to be my 15th man? No, not gonna play. I just need someone to sit on the bench, and I don't want to pay nobody. I don't want nobody to think they actually got a chance to actually get into this 12-man rotation. Like I'm gonna pay this dude a little bit of money. Just come to America, sit on the bench, relax. Like it's not about the talent like that. I know a lot of talented dudes who should be in the league right now, and rock this point. Like it's. So I don't want to kill your dreams, guys. But listen, you can make a great life playing European basketball. Trust me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the other route is now kids go overseas. Like you had Melo and RJ Hampton. They went to Australia.
Yes.
It's not easy. There was another kid from New Jersey. His name was Philip Wheeler. He went to Italy. I don't know how he did. Obviously, he wasn't as high as a prospect as those two, but you're seeing more and more kids do that, and it's a different lifestyle. It's not easy. It's hard, but if your dream is to be a pro, like I think kids should just say. A lot of kids that I train, they say pro now instead of just NBA or WNBA. They just want to be a pro because I tell them like that's your dream. Like I got to play in Canada 1 year, and it's didn't work out the way I hoped, but
there's basketball in Canada.
Play.
Yeah, no, they. I think now is the best time for basketball because you're seeing more global game than we saw. Like I said, I didn't know about European basketball literally until my junior season. I didn't after my junior season. I mean, like after that, I'm like, man, Europe. Like now, you can see highlights of World Cup, Euro League. You see Luka Doncic come over who played in Spain. They showing Spain highlights from when he was 16 and 18. Like you're seeing Europe now, and you're seeing European basketball. Like when I was growing up, I didn't know any European professionals. None. Like there was no professional basketball players within 50 miles of my house. Like I didn't know any. And there were no guys. Like I could be like, yo, you playing in Europe, like you're a professional basketball player. I didn't know any guys. So like I was learning as I went on. And then once I got into Europe, I'm like, dang, this dude been over here for 10 years. Like this dude married a woman in Finland and had 3 kids and now lives in Finland. This dude lives in Italy who opened a barbecue restaurant, lives in Italy. I know a guy from Chicago who lives in France. Like people are going over here, playing, making great money, and actually staying. Like we didn't even think that was like we thought it was a different galaxy.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So like when you say like now kids are talking about they want to be pros. I think that's amazing because now it'll give you even more to work for because you know it's super hard to get in the NBA and like not even a 0.1% chance, but it's super hard to get there. And if you don't get there, there's no reason you should quit or stop or feel like you suck or not good enough. You can still make money playing basketball.
Because at the end of the day, like that's what you love, and like I preach what you love, and like if you're able to make a living doing that, like I mean that's you know, and you're happy. Like that's the thing. Like you're doing something that you love and you're happy with it. It's the most amazing feeling, and I think that if a hooper is able to experience that, or just anybody in general, like that's you know, that's a great way to you know live your life.
For sure. I like that. Become a pro instead of I want to go to NBA.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways to become a pro.
Yeah. So, and like I said, and they always, that's why I also want to study Euro basketball too, because they say it's more difficult than the NBA. You have to be more skilled physically, and you got to be skilled. I mean, mentally, you got to understand IQ wise.
Yeah, it's there. Don't get me wrong, NBA crazy skill, crazy skill, but the skill set of Europe is a lot different. The NBA is way more athletic and more physical than Europe, like strength. But the skill set and like the IQ, Europe has the NBA beat by far.
Yeah. And so like that's why I think like if I'm able to for me to I'm trying to be able to separate myself as a trainer, try to put myself as a player. Obviously I was playing and then as a coach trying to find that in between to help coaches around like maybe at a younger when they coach younger kids to kind of help them you know with the development we have I think in America there's just too much um you know different levels in terms of kids that want to play they have the obviously they have the access now with everything but I think
Yeah.
that if everyone was more educated like those countries like I know I went to Lithuania like they start those kids in the Sabonis Academy like 100 of them at you know 6 years old and they teach them the same thing and they stay with a group and then
Yeah.
you know they have that camaraderie the same skill set and everyone just grows differently you know so if we can I think if America has the talent it's just getting the coaching to groom that talent
For sure. It's different because you have AAU in America. You don't have that in Europe. And AAU is more G League centric, whereas go get your numbers because you need to go get that scholarship. It's not all about winning the tournament. It's about who averaged 30 in that tournament. You know what I'm saying? So AAU is more taken away from fundamentals than in Europe, where it's like academies where guys are actually focusing on the fundamentals of the game and how to shoot, how to dribble, and where they need to be. And then, of course, as you grow, then you'll break off. You're big, you're small. But even in Europe, if you, and especially Lithuania, even if you're big, you need to know how to shoot the basketball.
yeah exactly
That's a 3-point shooting country.
all right I won't hold you too much longer let me I'll ask like one last question all right so if you can tell yourself anything from like your current self if you can go back and tell yourself a couple of things and it doesn't have to just be basketball what would they be
Be patient, document more, record more, and enjoy the ride because it will be a great one.
no that's huge just because I just think once like the older us me now that we're getting older we're in a different place mentally right
Yeah.
um for me like as a trainer like I want to be able to not only help develop players as players but like as a person you get what I'm saying and you know us being able to reflect and hearing different people's perspectives I think it opens people's minds to be like oh okay that makes sense you know I know being patient that's a huge one like A lot of people want things to happen right away, but it doesn't. And that's just life is.
The reason I say I always tell my younger self be patient is because now I understand it. And when people ask me, like I just had a kid from Fairfield who's about to go play in Europe, messaged me the other day and like, what do I expect from my first couple seasons in Europe? I was telling him, I said, first of all, don't think about money because that will put you in a bad situation. If you go chase the top check that you can get, you might not be in the right situation. So I was telling him like, yo, get your name in the door first. And the reason I understood that is because I understand I was doing it at the time. Like I chose my first year because I love my agent. He's amazing. He was just telling me, listen, once you get in the door and you start having a couple of good seasons, money will find you. Don't worry about that. He's like, but if you chase this check now and you go to the bad team and the coach hates you now, yeah, you got a little money, but you just got cut. Now no one knows who you are. So it's over. Like there's no next season where you can advance your salary or advance in a team because no one saw you play. Your film is short-lived because you went to go get that money. So when I say be patient, I mean find your situation. Don't always and this is for people becoming professional basketball players. This is also the same thing I dealt with going into college. Like I was telling you about high school. Like I signed early. I could have backed out and took another deal, but I would have that shirt or something. So be patient, find your situation. Find someone who's gonna let you be you and develop instead of waiting and taking the big name and then you're not even on the court or it could be about life too. Not even on the court. Take what's right for you, understand you, instead of chasing a name brand or going with this business because this is the higher business, but they'll never see your face or see your brand. So stay true to you and be patient because with patience, there comes a better reward at the end, knowing that you went through the struggle and built it your way.
All right. Yeah, no, for sure. And are you gonna tune in tonight for the Last Dance episode 3 and 4?
Man, I don't know. I might watch it. Honestly, I'm from Chicago, so I wasn't in it because I wasn't in the locker room, but what people are seeing now is what I saw as a little kid. Like when I was little, when people mentioned Michael Jordan, the first thing was like he's mean or like no one was like, oh, he's a great basketball player. In Chicago, like, oh, he's crazy. Like this dude attitude is crazy. As a kid, that's what you think. You think, oh, he's competitive, cut. You don't understand that as a kid. As a kid, you're like, oh, this dude is angry, he's mean, like he treat people reckless. So me seeing it is like kind of rewatching. But the details in it is crazy.
Yeah.
So I might tune in.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I'm definitely tuned in. It's the only basketball we got going on right now. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm rewatching all of the World Cup and Olympic Games. So I just watched the Redeem Team. I just watched the World Cup for USA 2010, and I just watched 2014 with James Harden and Steph Curry and them. So I'm rewatching basketball now. I'm getting back into like my killer mentality. I'm ready to get back started where like I'm about to really lock in and it's great gems in those videos. If y'all looking to watch basketball, please go watch international USA games. Because you'll see different USA players. You're not gonna see when you watch the Redeem Team over, even though people saw it live, please go rewatch it. You're going to see international Kobe, international LeBron, international Dwayne Wade. You're not going to see Kobe fade away post-ups, dribble, fade away from the block because you can't because the lane is stuck. There's no 3 seconds. So you're going to see the highest level talent play international basketball. And believe me, it's beautiful. It's insane. And go watch 2014 World Cup. Serbia versus USA. USA dominated that game, but please watch how they dominated the game, man. It's not NBA basketball.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna check it out now because I'm trying to like find some new film to break down and dissect. And hey, if you got film for me of like your season this year, just definitely send some stuff to me or like a video or highlight tape.
I sent you a couple highlights.
Just because I want to break down you as a player and just like be able to teach from it. So
a good game to break down is the 2010 World Cup championship game.
2010 World Cup.
Yes, USA versus who did they play? I just watched it. Kevin Durant went absolutely ballistic, and this is before Kevin Durant was KD. This is baby Kevin Durant, baby Russell Westbrook. Like this team, Steph Curry sat the bench. He wasn't good enough.
That's crazy thinking about that.
Exactly. 2010. Steph Curry was on the bench, did not play.
That's crazy. Yeah, so I'm gonna check that out. I'll try to break that down. But no, D, thank you for taking the time out of your day. Don't want to hold you up too much longer. And definitely hopefully once this is over we can get in the gym and then help you get ready for next season.
Yes, sir. Show y'all a couple of things, man. The gym is a lot better to break down some stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, but hey, have a great day and we'll be in contact, bro.
Yes, sir. Love, baby.
Yes, sir. Fairfield Stag.
Let's go.
All right, dude. Peace.
Peace.